at idle, and just recently I couldn't get into second gear, and I figured out why. Here are the shift forks for first, second, third, and fourth. Here's first, second, right here. Here's third and fourth. Third and fourth are always tight, and if you can see that this black thing right here is actually the kind of the shoulder, or the plastic insert that goes on the shift forks that goes into these grooves right here on a synchro. Gears are in constant mesh. Okay, and you know, you go back and forth like this. You can do one with the screwdriver to select which gear ratio you want. So, anyways, back to the shift forks. When I looked at first and second, oh surprise, there are no inserts. No plastic inserts that actually add a good bit of thickness to the shift fork itself, and that meant that I wasn't actually knocking that synchro second gear, apparently, which is, here's the one between first and second. I wasn't knocking it in all the way, so I wasn't selecting second gear at all. It would grind, but up until the last, I don't know, 1,000 miles or something, wasn't getting it. So I said I gotta rebuild this thing. So yeah, no inserts whatsoever, nowhere. I don't know if they were installed or not, but the rebuild kit I have gotten from Ford Racing has those inserts to replace them. So it's just an initial teardown. I gotta get the clusters out, the shafts out, and stuff like that. This box has about 165,000 miles on it. This car in general is just one surprise after another. I've done quite a lot of work to it, but as far as the drivetrain, all I've done is rebuilt the rear end, put an independent rear suspension in, rebuilt the rear end and put a new drive shaft in. This is the first time I'm touching the transmission on the inside, and actually the motor is stock as well, but
alright, so this is kind of my commentary on the second video that I'm going to be putting up on this transmission rebuild. You know, I just want everybody to know that I have found a lot of videos on YouTube helpful, as well as certain message board sites and stuff like that, and picture tutorials on the internet over the years. And I enjoy watching these things on the internet, just to see people wrenching when I'm like sitting at my apartment not doing anything. It's quite kind of nice. Anyways, yeah, I just hope it'll help at least maybe one person out, and the rest of you, if you think this is complete garbage, it probably is, But anyways, the commentary I want to make on the second video is, this is the first video I've kind of edited and put together, so just please bear with me. I'm just trying now to kind of document all of the projects I do on my car, and I work on it a lot. So anyway, yeah, the second video is going to be showing why I wasn't getting second gear almost about 10 months ago. 9-10 months ago this all started. I did this rebuild over the, say, first week or so of June. Well, that's when I started it. I screwed things up, but anyways, I couldn't, like I said in the last video, I think I said this, I could not grab second gear, and overall I knew the bearings were making quite a bit of noise. What I am pointing to in this video as to the reason I think I wasn't grabbing second gear is primarily one of the reasons, probably the initial cause of what started the wear on the actual dogs of second gear itself. So it's kind of a fake or half explanation as to why I wasn't really getting second gear, but I I do show in this video these tabs, these plastic tabs that are missing, that ride in the grooves of the synchro ring in a transmission. And if you want to know what these synchro rings are, just looking at an exploded view diagram of a T5 or T56 or T45 transmission that is available from Tremec online, and they'll show you what the synchro hub is versus synchro ring, and blah blah blah, and I show you what they do in later videos. But regardless, the shift forks kind of sink in to the grooves in a synchro ring. I'm trying to find something to explain it, but I can't really. I don't have any. I forgot to bring the old transmission parts with me down here to physically show you. But the shift fork sets into the ring's grooves on the outer, the grooves that are cut into the ring on the outer diameter to move it back and forth between gears. And these plastic tabs that go into the shift fork that kind of make up the thickness and ride against the shift fork, so there's no metal-to-metal contact between the synchro ring and the shift forks. They were missing on the first, second gear shift fork. So the synchro that's between first and second gear, its companion shift fork, had no plastic bushings on there. Okay. So what was happening was there was essentially, not only was there a thickness that wasn't there, which in my estimation was not enough once you threw the transmission in gear, was not enough to push the synchro ring far enough into its the corresponding dogs of the corresponding gear. But apparently this had happened quite a long time ago, well, quite a long time prior to that, or me discovering this actually, because I found that in fact the synchro hub, the synchro ring rather, machined its outer diameter essentially into the shift fork. So there was probably at least another, I would say, 1/8 of an inch step of thickness machined away from the actual thickness of the shift fork, and that's why I couldn't get into second gear. So the first thing that happened was those bushings fell out, and then it was after that metal to metal contact, and after probably tens of thousands of miles of metal to metal contact, or maybe less, maybe just hundreds of miles, after that metal to metal contact kind of wore down the shift fork, and I estimated when I looked at it, it took about half of the overall thickness of the shift fork away from this metal to metal contact, and I no longer had enough. I couldn't throw the shift fork far enough to push the thing into gear. The lever that goes into the passenger compartment only moves so far, and you have to have a certain thickness to your shift fork to ensure that the shift fork is actually pushing the synchro ring into the synchro hub and blah blah blah. So that wasn't happening, and I just wanted to cover that right now to make sure people knew. When I get better at editing videos and stuff, and I have more patience, I honestly, I will kind of truncate a lot of the videos together, and I like to give explanations like this. It's kind of what I do for a meager living these days. Provide explanation as well as kind of show what I do, and hopefully in future projects I'll get a better camera that can focus and get a tripod and stuff. Anyways, I just wanted to put that out there so people know. I can follow the series along, and hopefully I'll be more up to date with everything now. And I won't wait 2 months for posting the next video, for instance. All right. So that's it. Take it for what it's worth. All right. Thanks a lot.